Hello, everybody. We're back with Casts from the Crypt, the podcast all about tales from the crypt and other hilariously horrifying things. I am your host, as always, CJ Roby, and I am watching all of these episodes for the very first time. I have never seen this show before, so I'm making a podcast about it, and I'm watching all of them, and it's a good time. It's a real good time. The season 2 is just wrenching up the hilariousness of this show. Season 1 was like, we got it. We got the gist. Hey, it's a moral tale about people doing shitty things and then getting their comeuppance. But season 2 is just all about just wacky shit. Just straight up the wackiest, dumbest tales that they can find, and I'm here for it. Episode 3 is no different. Episode 3 is honestly, it's the wackiest one so far. Like, it's a story about two guys who just don't know when to fucking quit. Like, they just don't know when to put the cards down. So, season 2, episode 3 is Cutting Cards, released April 21st, 1990, just like the other 3 episodes. This was 3 episodes back to back for the return of the season. They really did it. They're just like, hey, you wanted some Tales from the Crypt? You got a bunch of it. See? And now these days we wait a whole year between half of one season to get our shows. God, ugh. Alright, so before we get into the episode proper, we're going to do what we always do, and we're going to do top 5 episode credits. Wait, what is this? What? Hold on a second. Hey, Ghoulian!
What do you want?
Ghoulian, there's only 3 credits here. There's only this is top 5 credits. Why'd you only give me 3?
Why don't you do the research and then you can tell me how to do my job?
God damn it, Ghoulian. Alright, well then it's top 3 credits for the episode. Alright, top 3 credits. They're not even in order. Whatever. Okay, fine. Number 3 is Lance Henriksen, our star of the show. He plays the main character, Reno, and I didn't recognize him under all that cowboy gear, but if you got better eyes than me, you might notice that he is the guy who played Bishop in Aliens. He was the robot who, spoiler alert, saves Ripley and isn't evil like the other one. But yeah, he's like, I didn't realize just how much horror that dude is in. Looking up at his IMDb credits, he is all over the horror movies. Honestly, check out his IMDb page. You'll find a lot of cool stuff in there. He also had a small part in Terminator. He did a bunch of horror and action movies, which is pretty cool. But speaking of Aliens, we actually have like a lot of the crew on this episode in particular worked on Aliens. It's kind of weird. It's a big shared connection through the crew for this episode. All right, number 2. Number 2 is John R. Leonetti, the cinematographer for this episode. This is another big horror guy. Honestly, he's got his hands on a lot of really good horror stuff. This guy's the cinematographer behind both The Conjuring and the Insidious series. Like, I'm pretty sure most of the Conjuring movies, and I know all of the Insidious movies, were shot by this guy. So he's he's in the horror game. He also did the cinematography for Child's Play 3, so he's been in the horror game. And also, fun fact, he did the cinematography for the Mortal Kombat movie, which I'm pretty sure the Mortal Kombat movie has been in the top 5 list at least one time now. So you know we're just gonna keep it rolling on Mortal Kombat. I hope everybody in that movie ended up working on Tales of the Crypt at some point. And then finally, our top slot today, our number 1 credit of the episode is James Horner, who did the music for the episode. James Horner is, honestly, he's the composer for some of the biggest movies ever. And also a couple of really weird ones. He was the composer for Aliens, which, like I said, we got a bunch of Aliens connections in this episode. He also did some music for just some absolute childhood bangers, which is Casper. I mean, look, the music for Casper is great. And Pagemaster. Does anybody remember the fucking Pagemaster? I saw this on his credits and I was like, whoa, I forgot all about this movie. The fucking Pagemaster. And this fool did the music. This guy is the musical genius behind both Avatar and Titanic. Like I said, biggest movies of all time. This guy is hitting the soundtrack for. So, yeah, you deserve the top slot today, James. All right, everybody. I'm going to go collect some money from some anonymous companies so that I can keep the show free for you by giving them some ad space. So, hang tight. Cast in the Crypt will be right back after these messages.
Hello, I am Igor. Do you want a new face, new body? Come to Dr. Bratislava. He will make you new. He will switch your face to another one. He said I could get a new face if I record this ad and get someone down here to be a donor. So come sign up for a new face for Igor and become new Igor. Yes, you will like it. As the doctor's assistant, you get to wear a cool bandage over your face. I really like it, and I would happily trade my face for yours. So come down to Dr. Bratislava. Plastic surgery for your face. Give Igor your face. Igor wants your face. Give Igor your face.
Oh man, that sounds good, and I support whatever it is that just happened. Alright, so it's episode time. Episode 3 of Season 2, Cutting Cards. It opens with the Cryptkeeper playing cards. I mean, he might be playing poker. He's got the whole, like, dealer getup with the little vest and the visor. So he might be just dealing poker hands to himself. Who knows what this creepy fool does in his spare time. It's not like he has friends. Although, I mean, he's probably really good at poker because he must have a amazing poker face. He barely even has a face to read. The writing for Cryptkeeper is pretty good in this episode, and I'm honestly very upset because I listen, I don't like learning things from the Cryptkeeper, okay? He makes a joke about the Marquis de Sade, and I was like, who the fuck? What is that? So I looked him up, and he's literally the dude that we got the word sadist from. He was just some like poet and rapist. It was horrible. Don't read about him. He's a bad man, and I'm glad he's dead. But yeah, so he's got some good jokes. He's got some good jokes today. The episode he opens it up. Nothing like else crazy happens. Fucking Arnold doesn't bust in and start talking a bunch of shit or anything like that. It's nothing really interesting happens. I was just blown away by that joke. But anyway, the episode begins with the Sonic the Hedgehog casino theme. It's just like some weird ass song that's just a nonsense blend of synthesized saxophone and offbeats. I couldn't tell what was up from down in that song. The camera looks at the casino, and then this cowboy steps into frame and walks into the casino. Yeah, a cowboy walks into a casino. And if that sounds like the start of a really bad joke, it is. But the joke is great. It is a setup to a pretty great joke. But that's at the end of the episode. This guy's name is Reno. Reno Cerviche or whatever the fuck his name was. I don't remember. It was something. He talks to a waitress, and she's like, "Oh, hey Reno, haven't seen you around in these parts." He's like, "Where's the high rollers table? I'm looking to win big." And she says, "Oh, well, no one uses it anymore other than Sam Forney. You know Forney, right?" And he's like, I know Forney, all right. Damn it. So he goes to get a drink, and he talks to the bartender a little bit, who has a certain look. This bartender kind of looks like he's a out-of-work mad scientist picking up a bartending job for some extra cash because he can't swap people's faces. And this bartender is like super creepy. I don't know what is up with Roy Brocksmith, but he just can't do anything in a non-creepy fashion. But he recognizes Reno too, and he talks about Reno winning 50 grand off of a South American dictator off of one hand. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm hella cool, I'm the best. And after he's done talking to the bartender, he looks over and sees Sam over here, just like in a weird closed off area, just playing solitaire by himself. I don't know why he would go to a casino just to hang out and play solitaire, but you know what? Hey, look, I'm not a gambler. I don't know how they think. Reno goes over there just to, I guess, go talk some shit. They're not friends. Like, they obviously hate each other. But he goes in there, and he's like, "Oh, you're sitting alone?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, no one really comes over here anymore. Beat out all of your buddies. I kicked everyone's ass. And no one could stand up to my style." And they're just going back and forth, talking a bunch of shit. Rena's like, "Oh yeah, you must have forgot. Your brain must be broken. Forgot that 10 grand I got off of you." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I was driving your car. Is that why your wife left you? 'Cause you lost that car, bitch?" and like, I was with Reno. Reno was about to beat the shit out of this dude for bringing his wife into the shit talk. But you know what? Reno gets talked into playing some cards. He doesn't jump over the table. He ends up sitting down. He's like, "Oh, nobody laughs at me. I'll show you." And Sam's like, "Oh yeah, everybody's laughing at you, you fucking cowboy wannabe bitch ass." He's just going off on him. Reno sits down, and he's like, "Oh, all right, you wanna fucking play? You wanna play, huh? I got $100 in my pocket right now. Let's go. Let's throw down the cards." And Sam's like, "Nah, $100, that don't mean shit. You and me, we're playing for who stays in this town. We're about to draw hands, and loser has to pack up their bags. You gotta get out of here." And he was like, all right, cool. And throws all of his cards away. He's like, "Yeah, I prefer dice. You can pick up your cards on your way out." So they're rolling dice to see who beats it. Reno rolls first, and he gets double sixes, and it's Sam's gone. Sam's finished. He's over. Credits roll, and everything's good. No, Sam goes, and he also gets double sixes, and like, all right. So, this other guy, I forgot his name. The guy who's not Lance Hendrickson, the guy who wasn't a robot. Oh, man, his acting through this is really great. It's fantastic. Every time he's on like the losing side, just look at this dude's face. Like, he's so good at getting fucked over. So yeah, they both get that role, and Reno's like, you know what? You know what? I'm tired of this. You want to throw down? You want to throw down? Let's do it. Like I don't know if he's Canadian or something, but there's some sort of accent that just slips in there real hard when he's delivering that line. It's pretty great. Like, you definitely gotta you gotta watch that scene. It's hilarious. He challenges him, and it's the big one. They're going for it. Russian roulette. That's the word. We're not playing for you to skip town anymore. We're playing for your damn life. I don't want you to move out of my city. I want you to move out of my entire mortal coil. So Reno's just talking a bunch of shit, and Sam's like, all right, you know what? I'll go get my gun from my car. We'll do it. Have it your way. Then they're just out in the parking lot. Sam goes and grabs his gun, and he's like holding it up to his face like he's got some bullshit planned. He's just all menacing with it, and they're just about to do it right there in the parking lot. They're like, whatever, who cares? One of us isn't gonna care that our brains was just blown out, and then the other one is just like, oh well, what are you gonna do? Witnesses saw him blow his own brains out. I didn't do anything. So Sam goes first, and he puts the gun to his head. Click, nothing happens. So he passes the gun to Reno, talking all that shit. He's like, "Oh yeah, looks like I had it. You nervous, Reno? Huh?" And Reno's like, "Shut up, you're distracting me. I need to think." And he's like, "What do you need to think for? It's all gonna be over here in just a second." So Reno pulls it, and he hands it back. He's like, oh yeah, thinking's the fun part. All the anticipation about what it's gonna feel like to get your brains splattered all over this parking lot, and if there's gonna be anything afterwards, or blah blah blah. And then he hands the gun back to Sam. So Sam goes for it. Click, another miss. Hands the gun back to Reno. He's like, oh yeah, your odds are getting lower. And Reno just puts it to his head. He's like, I can beat these odds. Click. He beats the odds. Gun goes back to Sam. But before the next round can happen, some dude just drives into the parking lot. He's like, hey, I just leave my car here with you guys, right? You can park it. Ha ha. And Reno's like, get the fuck out of here, bro. We're in the middle of something. He's like, hey, come on, man. Just park my car. And then Sam comes and pulls the gun on him. He's like, my friend told you to get the fuck out of there. So that dude dips out. And then they look at each other. They look at each other like they're about to have like a buddy moment. Because, you know, he's like, oh yeah, you heard my friend, get out of here. So I thought it was gonna be like, well, now they're friends, but no, not at all. They just continue. They keep going. So it's time for Sam to take his turn. He shakes a little bit, and he's just like, oh god, fuck, and you know it's 1-1. Like it's either having it or not. So he puts it to his head, and click. Of course, he does not get it. It wouldn't be good for the tension if they didn't get all the way to the last shot. But that hammer clicks on nothing, and he's feeling himself. He's like, Looks like I win, Reno. Oh, what were you saying about odds? Huh? It looks like your odds are all out, bro. It's 100% chance for you to get shot straight in your dome. So go for it, man. Let's go. What are you, some sort of bitch? You just not gonna do it? And Reno takes it. He's like, all right, that's fine. You know what? Listen close, motherfucker, because these are my last words. I don't want to. No one is gonna say that Reno. I forgot his last name, but no one's gonna say that Reno did not have the balls to shoot himself in the face in the middle of a parking lot. And so he shoots himself, but the bullet's a dud. It hits and nothing happens. And so Reno's pissed, of course. of course he's pissed to still be alive. He's like, God, you dirty cheater, you got me. You knew it was gonna be a blank. And Sam's over here just like, what are you talking about? You spun the chamber. You put the bullet in there. What are you talking about? I mean, yeah, it's old ammo, it might have gotten wet or something. And Reno's just like, you're lucky that I'm an honest gambler. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known that you had the tables turned in your favor the whole time. And he's like, dude, are you kidding me? You're really saying that I cheated right now? He's like, yeah, I'm not dead, so obviously you cheated. And Sam's like, all right, fine. We'll do this another way. We're going to play chop poker. And then it just cuts to them in a weird dark room with a dealer and I guess the dealer's bodyguards or something. Guys who were there to like make sure that they don't cheat or something. I don't know. They're just guys standing in the shadows watching the game too. So they're back at they're at the table and they get their cards and like I said, the guy who plays Sam is fantastic. Look at his poker face when he gets his hand. It's so funny. They draw their cards and they place down their hands. Sam has 2 pair and Reno has 3 queens, triple ladies. So that means that Sam is gonna be losing a finger. That's what they're playing for. They're playing for body parts. I don't know why they would go from, hey, all right, it's gonna be a bet for instant death to, all right, sweet, we're gonna play the most painful way to kill each other ever. Just I don't know. I don't understand. Gamblers, bro. So Reno asks him, all right, what finger are you losing? And Sam goes for the pinky. So that pinky's chopped. It is gone. It transitions back to the dealer, dealing their hands up. He's shuffling the cards, and it just shows Sam with his bandaged up hand. And Reno's like, oh yeah, you're not going to be doing fancy card work like this anymore. He's like, shut the fuck up, Reno. So they deal the next hand, and Sam loses again. Sam just can't get a break. So he loses his other finger, and Reno's just like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna pickle all of your fingers, keep them as a souvenir. And they're just going back and forth, just talking a whole bunch of shit. So next hand comes out. They put it down, and it is in Sam's favor. Reno does not have it, which means that he's losing his pinky. And Reno immediately is just like, wait, hold on. All right, look. Hey, man, we don't have to do this. Why are we fighting? Come on, man. Look, I'll even give you a pinky back. I'll give you one of your fingers back. All you gotta do is just not chop mine off. Sam's like, nah. No way, bro. It doesn't even hurt that bad, man. You'll see. you're about to be changing in those rodeo gloves for a pair of mittens, and just lays it down on him. And then it transitions again. You hear another shuffle of the cards by the dealer, and then it cuts into a hospital. And this lady's just doing hospital shit, and then the camera turns, and you just see Reno and Sam at a checkers table with no arms or legs, just stare at each other down. And Reno's like making this weird clicking noise, and I thought that they had chopped each other's tongues out by the end of it. I was like, damn, these guys went all the way. But no, I was wrong. Sam's just like, hurry up and move. And Reno's like, oh, okay, you want me to move? Come on. King me, bitch. Yeah, that's right. Reno, let's go. And he's like, oh, you think you're clever, Reno? Well, you just left yourself open to my trap. So their rivalry's still going strong, even though they're completely limbless now. And it closes on Sam asking Reno to pass him their shared gum. I don't really know what that's all about, but yeah, and that's the end of the episode. It goes back to the crypt, and oh god, and it opens on just a pan with fingers inside of it being fried. And look, I'm not squeamish, all right? I'm doing a horror podcast for a reason, but those fingers look disgusting. Like if anything has truly like sickened me in this show, like the Cryptkeeper said it would, then it was those fingers. Because I was like, ugh, whoever's in the props department for these fingers did a great job, and I hate them for it. But yeah, he's frying up these fingers, and even his closing section is great. And I'm gonna read it verbatim because it's just that good. Like I said, whoever was writing for Cryptkeeper in this episode was absolutely on point. So, alright, so Cryptkeeper goes, I've heard of giving someone the finger, but this is ridiculous. But at the risk of going out on a limb, I've got to hand it to Crevice and Forney. That's his fucking name. They'd do anything to elbow their way to the top. And it's corny as fuck, but I was like, damn, it was a good one. In fact, you know what? We found our final 2 credits for top 5 credits. It's the prop guy who did the fingers and whoever wrote the Cryptkeeper's intro and outro today. Yes, we did it. This is the season 2. Every episode of season 2 so far I've said it, but season 2 is amazing. Like season 2 so far is just great. Like, hopefully it's not like these 3 episodes came out and then everything else just went to shit, because these were the premiere ones. I'd hope that this quality goes throughout the entire season. Alright, so that's the episode. So let's take a gamble on whether or not the comic was as good as the show. It's time for comic versus show. Alright, so source material for this episode is Tales from the Crypt 32. Another Tales from the Crypt episode that's not like Crypt of Terror or anything like that. And I mean, I wonder if we're going to be getting any other of the original comic titles in there. Because, I mean, we already had a shocking suspense story. I forgot which episode it was. But, yeah, that was pretty recent. So, though they just like to jump all over the place. But this is from the actual comic Tales from the Crypt, and it's a Cryptkeeper's story. At least he's not over here stealing stories from his co-hosts like the bastard he is. So the comic is a little more contained than the episode itself. The comic is pretty much just two guys in a room yelling at each other, while in the show they're like their whole thing is like spilling out onto the street and they like scare a dude off and all this other shit. So yeah, the comic is just Sam and Reno. Well, okay, in the first change in the comic, their names aren't Sam and Reno. It's Gus and Lou. They changed Gus to Sam, and they changed Lou to Reno. But they're in. I don't know where they are. I think they're in Gus's office. I think that's what we're supposed to believe because Gus pulls the gun out from his drawer instead of from his car. So I assume that they're just at Gus's house or some shit. But and which leads the question for me, just like why would you want to do this in your office, and then like even if you do survive, just have to clean up the brains of this dude that you just played Russian roulette with in your fucking office. But you know what, hey, you know, I'm not a rich powerful gambler type, so I don't know how they live their lives. So the story starts off. The very first thing that you see in the comic is kind of a flash forward to it's one of them. I don't know. It's probably Reno, to Reno just coming at Gus with that butcher knife. And then it's just like, oh, well, how did these fellas get here? Well, it all started. Well, no, it's not an all started sort of thing. It just kind of gives the background that these guys fucking hate each other, and now they're here sitting right in front of each other talking, and they get right to betting their lives. There's no like, if you win, you get out of town. Hey, this town ain't big enough. Well, no, actually they do say this town ain't big enough for the both of us. But no, it's not you lose and you skip town. It's I'm tired of you being here. We're both hella stupid. You know what? You're dying right here. One of us is gonna die right here in this office. So, they bet their lives on cards. They're like, all right, cool. I'm fine with that. High card, just gets killed. I guess just dies. And they spread the cards on the table. They both pick up a card. It's aces. They got two aces, so they ended up in a draw. And then they're just like, you know what? Forget this. Let's do this like real men. Russian roulette. So yeah, Gus gets his gun. Um, instead of doing the whole thing where Reno takes the gun, Gus just loads a bullet in there and then gives him the gun and then he spins it and then it's all good. So the roulette round is like really quick. It's just one after another, bang 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 bang. Well, click click click. Since they're not like shit talking to each other in the middle of it. They're not just like, well, looks like luck's on my side. You want to give up? You can smell that gunpowder on your temple, huh? Yeah, none of all that shit. It's just one after another, and then the gun still gets jammed, so they still end up playing chop poker, and there's no dealer. I'm pretty sure that they just stay in the same place. They both call doctors, which gave me a big insight. I was like, oh, who are those? It made me realize that the two guys that were just standing in the dark room just all ominously were the doctors. It didn't even cross my mind. So Gus still loses the first hand, but he only loses once. It's he loses and then Reno loses and then they just keep going back and forth. It's not he doesn't lose twice at the beginning, and Reno being like, "Oh, wait, no, hold on. This ain't right." He doesn't beg. They just go one after another. And that's it. And then they just end up limbless, and well, it shows you a little bit more. Well, no, it doesn't really show you more. It just kind of makes a point to be like, oh yeah, they just played all night long. Like they never stopped going, as opposed to just like a chop and then it just transitions to them just being in the hospital. But yeah, that's really those are the differences between the comic and the show. They just got right to it. They hated each other so much, and we were just in this snapshot of their relationship where they're just like, you know what? I'm finished with you. I am absolutely fed up. We're just gonna kill each other with games right now. So that's comic versus show for this week. And that brings us to Shriek of the Week. So, the Shriek of the Week this time is A Quiet Place 2. Oh shit, it got a sequel. Oh, John Krasinski's back in the director's seat. Jack Ryan himself, Mr. Awkward Jim, is directing once again. So I never actually watched A Quiet Place, but watching the trailer, well, okay, so I didn't watch the trailer either, but seeing the trailer coming out, I was just like, oh yeah, A Quiet Place. I forgot to actually like go and watch that movie. So I am going to watch the movie. I'm gonna watch it. I should have watched it for like this and did like a small review at the end of the show. But you know what? I'm not that good at podcasting yet, so I don't think of these sorts of things. But that is Shriek of the Week. I'm gonna watch Quiet Place, and then I'm gonna watch the trailer for 2, and I'm gonna see if I'm hyped at all for it, because A Quiet Place was everybody was like talking about it for a while. That and Bird Box, and I didn't watch either of those. So who knows? But I'm sure it's good, and I'll figure it out here in just a little bit. All right, so that's Shriek of the Week. Go back and watch. I almost called it Bird Box. Go back and watch A Quiet Place, and then go see number 2 in theaters. All right, everybody, that's it for me. Thank you once again for hanging out and listening to the Cast from the Crypt podcast. Go ahead and give it a 5-star on whatever podcast thing that you're listening to, and it allows you to rank things by stars. Give this a 5-star. You know what? Even if you're just like listening to this in an Uber getting somewhere, give the Uber driver 5 stars, and then under that, say this 5 stars is actually meant for Cast from the Crypt. That's all I can ask from you guys. Alright, everybody. I will see you next week. I am CJ Damocha on all social medias, CJDAMOCHA, and you can find me on Twitch playing a whole heap of dumb shit and being an idiot on there. Alright, folks. Take it easy, and as always, stay spooky.